just to take a step back, I think that if you look at the history of payments in crypto, I would say there's been a few big step changes. There's obviously the creation of Bitcoin, which was the biggest thing. And then we got the creation of Ethereum, which was this idea of programmable money in a much more broad way than Bitcoin enabled with its scripting language. And so that was a big innovation for how you could build payments on top of crypto. And then we saw stablecoins come out. And that's something that people really wanted, was paying in stable, fiat pegged currency. It's not the only answer. I think there's other much better ones in the long term, but that's one answer. And I think account abstraction, which came out this year or was implemented this year, is the next big step change there. And at a really basic level, what account abstraction means is that wallets that users own can now be controlled by code. So previously, users had to implement every transaction they wanted to implement, and their wallets that the users were using couldn't use code. You could interact with smart contracts that were external, that ran code, of course, on the Ethereum blockchain or on other blockchains, but your wallet itself couldn't run code. You had to do everything. And now with account abstraction, users can, through an interesting technical setup, have wallets that actually run code. What does that enable? All sorts of really interesting things. So I'll give you an example. Traditionally, if you were to send USDC, dollar-denominated stablecoin, or ECO, a new decentralized currency, or anything, you needed to have Ethereum in your wallet. You needed to have gas fees, right? And that's something that's always confused mainstream users is, I want to send this one currency. Why do I have to have this other currency in my wallet simply to send that first one? It's a little bit like having, saying to someone, hey, if you want to send dollars to someone, you have to have Venezuelan bolivars in your wallet as well to send that. And that just doesn't make sense to people. And that's something that had to be fixed. With account abstraction, this new thing called ERC 4337 that was implemented, what you can do now is have users' wallets run code that makes transactions much more complex. And an example of that is that, and this is something that the Beam wallet does, you can allow for gas sponsorship by another entity. And what that means is that if a user wants to send USDC, someone else can pay the Ethereum gas fee for that user's transaction, and the user can pay that person in USDC. And that can all happen programmatically. So in the Beam wallet, when you send USDC or ECO, you are paying fees in the currency that you are sending. And that's just something that makes sense. That's a necessary thing for payments to work globally for the mainstream use case, because otherwise people are too confused as to why they need yet another currency to send the currency that they want to send.